All right. It is the most wonderful time of the year. 72 days. 72 days and counting till the start of Q4, the fourth quarter, the holiday selling season. It is a big deal, folks. It is a big deal and no different than when you sign up to run a marathon. And I don't know why anyone in their right mind would ever want to do such a thing. You sign up, that date is on the calendar, you know the race is coming, and you start training, right? You start training and getting ready because you know if you don't start practicing and getting ready when that freaking marathon actually runs, you are going to be dogging it, right? So we've been doing this for a long time at Art Storefronts, and quite literally every year I start in monotonously, okay, routinely with the how many days we have left till Q4. How many days we have left till Q4. And it's not because I want to be annoying to you guys, okay? I do a little bit. It's the biggest art selling time of the year. What we do now in the middle of summer to get ready for the biggest art selling time of the year always makes all of the difference, okay? And if you don't have somebody constantly in your ear saying Q4 is coming, Q4 is coming, Q4 is coming, you're not going to start taking the preparations seriously, okay? And I want you guys to take the preparing. What did I just say? The preparing? No, it's Monday. The preparation seriously to get ready for Q4. So what does Q4 mean traditionally? I'll just tell you guys for a high level. Some of you have heard me say this for the last 10 years. Some of you, this is the first time. Yes, it's Black Friday. Yes, it's Cyber Monday, but really it's just the biggest online and offline retail season that our country, really that North America, has on offer. Okay. More art, more photography is going to be sold in Q4 than at any other time all year long. Okay. And every year around this time, we want you guys to start getting ready. We want you to start thinking about the things that you need to be thinking about to get your digital house in order. And so you're going to see me doing a ton of live broadcasts. And by the way, all of these are open Q&A. So if any of you guys have questions, just leave the comments. I will stop this thing, answer them, because that is what I'm here to do, is help you guys. So there's a bunch of things that we can do to get ready. A bunch of like really, really important things. One thing that I did do, which was like really, really, some exciting stats, is I went and searched a couple of the AIs ahead of this. And I'm like, my question was, when historically speaking, and this is good news for all of us, by the way, the question was to the AIs, like, historically speaking, when the stock market is at an ATH, an all-time high, essentially, or really, really doing well in July, what does the data say historically that portends for what kind of the Q4 that looks like? So going back in history, how did Q4 perform when in the middle of July, or late in July, we were sitting at an all-time high in the market? And this data is actually pretty awesome. So the historical probabilities, when the S&P 500 was up 10% by July, Q4 gains occurred about 85% of the time, with a median Q4 return of 4.7%. So the data here is pretty conclusive that, when the stock market is at the level that it's at now, that usually holds through to Q4. So that means a seasonally strong Q4, especially in November and December, and according to ChatGPT, often referred to as the Santa Claus rally, right? So it goes on to say that markets tend to follow momentum, especially in bull markets. If July is a strong close to an all-time high, the likelihood that Q4 gains are higher is just there across the board. And the disclaimer, it says, as long as you're not in an election season. Well, we're not in election season. So I'm taking this as very, very good news. I think this means we will likely have, if we follow the data historically, a very, very strong Q4. So what I would love to do, is start planting some of these seeds in your head of the things that you guys can be doing now. And yes, I realize it's still summer weather. Yes, I still realize it's beach time and you have a vacation coming up, or you're dealing with your kids all day, whatever the case may be. We're all distracted as hell in summer. But I'm here to tell you, now is the time to get focused. And when you do, you will end up having a better Q4. What everyone else is going to do, not you guys, because I am in your ear, is they're gonna wait. They're gonna get busy. Things are gonna be going crazy. The next thing you know, it's gonna be 2 weeks to Thanksgiving, and they're gonna be like, "Damn, I haven't done anything. Maybe I should get a sail in the water." I don't want that to be you. I want you to be ready. And so the drum banging is going to continue incessantly between now and the end of the year. And there's a lot of things that we can do to set ourselves up for success. Okay. One of the primary takeaways that we have in marketing, and I think it's really, really important, and I don't think enough artists and photographers talk about it. There's this notion of what we call effective frequency. Okay. And it's more conceptual than it is exact, because no one knows what the actual number is. But the notion is of the effective frequency, the number of times a potential customer of your art needs to be exposed to your art, to your photography, before they are ready to buy, right? And sort of the takeaway is, like, you're driving your car and you hear a commercial for Coca-Cola, and then you're driving down the freeway and you see a billboard, and then you're on your lunch break and you're looking at Instagram and a can appears in an ad, right? The effective frequency notion is you need to see that can of Coca-Cola at least 7 times. That is sort of the effective frequency sweet spot, where you're like, that's it. I've got to go get a Coke somewhere. I'm going to go and buy a Coke. I know it's probably not good for me. I don't care. I've seen it so many times. It's in my mind, right? And so who knows what the actual number is for art, but somewhere out there is the number, the effective frequency, the number of times, okay, people need to be exposed to your creations, your art, your photography, before they are ready to make a purchase decision. And the number might be 7, it might be 14, it might be 20, it might be 2. All I know is it's not going to work if you don't do anything between now and the start of Q4. Post one time on Instagram and hope that you're going to get there. Okay. So one, I'm going to be talking about this incessantly from now all the way till the start of October. Then we're going to go into the hardcore tactical, when to launch your sales, how to think about your sales, what you need to do. What I would like to do now, between now and then, is one, get you guys to sign up for the race. I want all of you to put your deposit down right now. Don't worry, it's $30. It's non-refundable. Put your deposit down right now, okay, for the marathon that you are going to run starting October 1st. If you do that, if I can get you to do that, then, every other day or every 3 days, you're going to start going on a 1 mile run or a 2 mile run or a 3 mile run. And no, I'm not talking about running. I hate running. Why would anyone run? I'm talking about doing the things that is going to best set you up to put you in a position to succeed this Q4. Okay. And there's the notion of effective frequency, which is very, very important. Okay. But these are right now is the time that we can start doing things. Okay. We can make sure that our art's on a website, that we can take credit card, that all of that's working, that we have our ducks in a row, that we have the ability to take orders offline. And maybe that's Venmo, and maybe that's Square, and maybe that's knowing how you're going to fulfill the work, or maybe knowing your prices, getting your house in order such that you can take payment, okay, for your creations. Very, very important. And obviously this is easy if it's cash, but cash doesn't really work on the internet, does it? So important to start thinking about those things. Yes, we want your art up on a website. Yes, I think you should start a website. Yes, we offer them. So it's you can take it somewhat cynically, but the fact remains, you need to be prepared to take a credit card for one of your purchases. And I need you to get that ironed out now, however you do it. You want to sign up for us? Great. You want to make sure that you can get a Square account or a PayPal account or a Venmo account or all of the above, or you're going to accept crypto, whatever it is, get yourself in a position, okay, that you can take credit card. It's very, very important. And I find like a lot of people are not thinking about these things right now. You got to be thinking about these things right now, right? Next. It's time to start thinking about your email list, okay? All of you have an email list, whether you have an email list or not. Some of you guys are actively working at this, right? You're doing fairs and shows and you're gathering emails there. You have a website with a pop-up box on it and you're capturing emails that way. Or you're getting orders and so you've got email addresses there. You're regularly doing marketing. Now is the time to start getting that list in order and to start thinking about how many times we are going to email that list before October, okay? To let them know you exist, to let them know that you're planning to have the big Q4 sale, to let them know you have new work, whatever the case may be. Now is the time to get that doggone email list ready. And all of you guys have an email list, whether you know it or not, okay? It starts with friends and family. That's where it starts. It starts with friends and family and work colleagues. And then as the business matures, you start getting people that are interested in your art and join the list. You start having actual customers. In all cases, whatever size the email list is, okay, you just need to be emailing it. You need to let these people know that you exist. You need to let these people know that you are going to have a product that is going to be in the market, okay, that is going to be in the market come Q4. Come Q4. So it's time to start thinking about that, okay? It's time to start flexing those digital muscles a little bit, and it applies to every single solitary one of you, right? And there are a number of things that we teach and that we advocate that you do before Q4 comes, and we'll outline some of those strategies. You can start doing print giveaways. You can start having contests, which will help you capture more emails. There's some strategies that we have on that. I've got a ton of episodes on the podcast for that as well. So we're going to help you out there, okay? Again, the effective frequency is 7 times plus, right? If the effective frequency is 7 times plus, you could almost argue that the only metric that matters, I talk about this notion a lot, OMTM, the only metric that matters is, are they going to see your art 7 to 10 to 15 times before the start of October 1st? How is it what you are doing day to day ensuring that strangers are seeing your art for the first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh time? You could argue that between now and Q4, the only metric that matters is the number of times that your art gets seen by strangers, so they can start forming a bond with you, so they can know you exist, so they can know you have products for sale, so they can know you've got new work, so they can be reminded because they've already seen your work again and again and again. So the email list can play a critical role there. I would also argue that, you need to learn to ramp up your social media posting. Most of you guys do not do enough of it, okay? Does not do enough of it. And if you do start doing enough of it, your art, its effective frequency, how many times people in the market see it, is going to go up. If it starts going up, stands to reason you guys are going to win, okay? You guys are going to win. In addition to that, you guys, it's time to start thinking about shifting your focus. We have to move out of, I am an artist and all I want to do is create, so I'm just going to stay in creation mode. There are times of year where it is more important to be in creation mode, and there are times of year where it's more important to be in marketing mode. I'm not saying it's stop all creation today. I'm saying it's time to start wrapping it up. Wrap it up. Now is the time to start thinking about, okay, I'm not going to be able to create as much as I want, and I know that, and that's okay. Come to terms with it. Finish off what you're doing. Start giving yourself more time, okay? Like a good rule of thumb is, like, let's be honest, most of you guys are like 90-10, right? 90% of the time, all you want to do is just create, and maybe you phone in the marketing. And that's fine for certain seasons of the year. Now is when we want to start scaling that back. We want to go to 80-20, and then we want to go to 70-30, and then we want to go to 60-40, right? And if you start doing that, it makes the transition easier. It's not like throwing a light switch, because I know all of you just want to create all the time, and you don't want to do the rest of the stuff, because I've been doing this for a long time, and I've talked to tens of thousands of you. I know where you guys are at, which is why I'm doing this broadcast in the first place. I want you to start planting these things in your head so that we can be ready to roll, right? So yes, that means posting more on Instagram. Yes, Instagram is 4 social networks inside of one. There is a feed. Inside the feed are reels, are carousels, are posts. It also has stories. You could also argue they're live broadcasts. Each of those are rooms in a single solitary house. The more you start learning how to do that, we have a ton of training on this. The more comfortable you're going to be, the better you're going to be at it. We have a new AI app you can use for free that will post to Instagram for you. Go use that one if you're so inclined. But it's time to start getting a little bit better at posting on Instagram, because we want to get ready, okay? We want to be ready. We want all of our muscles loose. We want to train. We want to run a bunch of different training races. I hate the running example, but marathons just work, right? They just work. And yes, Kathleen's like, people love stories. They absolutely love stories. Okay. And I do believe like the time that we're living in right now, this time of AI and AI being able to mimic your voice and AI having giving you ideas to help you tell stories, it is now becoming easier than ever, okay, to be better at storytelling, to be able to not start from a blank page and instead start with like a nice little foundation, a nice little base and some bullet points, okay? And yeah, and Kathleen's like, prints can be free. They cost very little to create and never should and should never sell for a lot of money. Within reason. There's some people that sell prints for a lot of money, but they're also very effective to use as giveaways to capture email addresses. And so I will talk about how running giveaways between now and the end of the year can be extremely, extremely effective. Okay. So we have this list of things that we need to do. Like if you popped onto the stream for even just a second and I got in your head even just a little bit, okay, that this important time is coming, that you do not want this year to come and go like many years in the past where you're like, doggone it, I wish I would have gotten my ducks in a row. I wish I would have started putting in some extra effort and really given some oomph to my marketing. Because if you do that, you're going to win, you guys. It's not the best art that gets created that sells. It's the best art that gets seen that sells, right? It is the best art that gets seen that sells. Okay. And Gail's like, what about protecting your art from those who would steal it for free? Gail, you got 99 problems, and that ain't one. That is just not one. That is the least of your concerns. That is number 2,567 of the problems that you have to worry about right now. Don't worry about that. Be flattered when something like that might actually even happen, right? That might actually happen. So here's like, who's going to take the hoverboard patent? Who's going to take the weight? That makes me laugh. I think I know where you're going with that, and that's kind of funny. So, guys, 74 days. The effective frequency, the number of times people are going to need to see your art between now and the end of the year in order to purchase is probably closer to 20. How are you going to get your art in front of strangers' eyeballs, not once, not twice, not 3 times, not 4 times, but 20 times between now and then? Regular and consistent marketing, right? And despite the fact it's not super fun, if I can get you guys focused on that, that's what's going to happen. So I promise to come with more episodes about how to do the social, more episodes about how to be consistent, how to capture more emails between now and the end of the year, ways to have your website set up, okay? All of the various different things to do. And it's just so important. And Dr. Gale's like, it's happened at least 2 times and on multiple times on one painting. Okay, well, that's terrible. That's terrible, D. Gale Mazer. But I was trying to learn how to ride my bike, and I fell down twice and skinned my knee. I didn't let it stop me from riding the bike because those are the types of things that happen when you're trying to grow a business. But in my experience, it happens extremely infrequently, and when it does, it is a massive flattery to you. Okay, and the reason it is a massive flattery to you, all right, is because we should all be so lucky to have our art be good enough that somebody actually wants to steal it, right? That's such an important thing. The Painted Canvas is asking me any recommendations for a website. Of course, there's recommendations for a website, Painted Canvas. We offer websites. So if you've not checked out ours are the absolute best, and you certainly should do so. But I don't even care which one you get, okay? I'd love to have you on board. I'd love to have you go with us. But I want you thinking, you're asking the right question because you know you need one. You need to be able to take credit card, guys. 74 days until the start of this party, and it's going to be a big one. So look for more of these episodes. I will do my best to motivate you, to inspire you, to harass you mildly, to employ bribery occasionally, whatever it takes, okay? Whatever it takes to get you guys focusing on the effective frequency, focusing on the biggest art selling time of the year being 74 days away. We are going to blink, okay? Summer is going to be over, and it's going to be game time. So I really, and thank you for saying that, Peanut Canvas, I really want you guys ready this year, like I do every single solitary year, and I go back to that economic data, and I'm very encouraged by it. And for those of you that just didn't tune in, I asked ChatGPT, when the stock market is at an all-time high in ATH in July, what does that normally portend for Q4, for the end of the year? What does that normally look like, right? And the best stat is, I think 82% of the Q4s after a very, very strong July in the stock market ended up having the Santa Claus rally, ended up, selling significantly more than the years previous. And we are definitely coming out of, no matter what anyone says, a bumpy economic time. But the fact that the market is at an all-time high, I think we're going to be in a very, very good place. I think we are a ton more art is going to sell this year than did Q4 last year. And so that's really, really important, really, really encouraging. And I want you guys fired up. And I want you leaving it all on the table. So more broadcasts to come. 74 days. I will be relentless with the countdown timers. 74 days and 69 days and 60 days and 40. It will get you. It will have an impact because that's what countdowns do. So thanks for tuning in. See you guys all on a future live broadcast, and let's make this Q4 amazing.